Hello and welcome to the Mum Boss Method podcast. I hope that you are having a lovely day. It's Monday, it's the 30th of June. I'm sweltering in my office because the sun has stuck around or swung round to this side of the house. So I thought, right, I'm going to record this podcast and then I'm going to go downstairs where it's a bit cooler because your girl is having quite a sweat. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about my June, and I thought I would title this episode My Rich Life June, because I really have lived my rich life in June. June is always something that is super social for me. It's always a month that is super social. It's my birthday, my brother's birthday, my sister-in-law's birthday. You've got Father's Day. Hopefully most of the time, certainly this year, the sun starts coming out and people want to do more things and be more sociable. And I do find June completely amazing on the one hand and exhausting on the other hand. And I have to tell you that I have had such a social June, but I wanted to share with you a little bit about why it's been so amazing, but also how I'm now taking everything that I've done into June and ploughing it into July, because with a social June comes feeling like I've not been massively, I hate this term, but I'm going to use it because I know it resonates with so many of you. Like I've not been completely on plan, that I've not been as adherent to my habits as I like to be. And I've got to the last day in June. I'm definitely feeling a little bit tired. I've definitely seen that I know that the scales have gone up slightly. I'm seeing a slightly little bit less definition when I look in the mirror, considering that halfway through May I had a photo shoot, so I was the leanest I'd ever been. Like I say, I'm quite tired. I'm a little bit socialed out, and whilst it has been amazing, there are some things that I need to implement into the next couple of weeks so that I can feel my absolute best going on holiday on the 6th of August, because I go away for 3 weeks in the summer and I don't want to get into the car on the 6th of August and start driving to France feeling like I don't look my best, because that's horrible. It's horrible to spend 3 weeks on holiday not feeling your best. But I've called this Rich Life Summer or Rich Life June, because I really have had the most amazing kind of 6 or 7 weeks. I know that takes me into May, but I'm kind of counting from photo shoot onwards, really. Like I say, June is my birthday month, and I had the most amazing birthday at the beginning of June. I had a really lovely day. I spent amazing time with my family and some of my best friends on the actual day. And then at that weekend, I then went out for dinner and drinks with some other friends and family. And then I went to see the amazing Mel Robbins on the Sunday, and that was just incredible. Then the following weekend was my brother's birthday and then Father's Day. So that was a big, big family weekend. Then the weekend after that, I spent 5 days and 4 nights at the Isle of Wight Festival, which was a big first for me. I haven't camped properly for an extended period of time since I was 18. And let me tell you, I was a very different creature when I was 18 to what I am now. I've never been to a music festival before. It was like a mini holiday, albeit a slightly dirty, dusty, lack of sleep one. I've then come back from the Isle of Wight where there was a heat wave, to the heat wave continuing, to have another very social weekend where we went out all day Saturday to a day festival to celebrate my sister-in-law's birthday, and then I had a friend over for a barbecue yesterday. I have been busy every week, every weekend in June, and actually I think if I look at my diary, I might have been busy that last weekend in May as well. I seem to remember, was I? Or maybe it was a bit, no, maybe it was a bit quieter at the end of May. That's good then. But yes, it has been super social, and you know, when it comes to things like my health, how I'm feeling, you know, fat loss, my physique, that has been a challenge because I have definitely eaten out at least twice every week, at least, but realistically it's been more. I think I've managed to get my steps every day, and the only time I missed a workout was when I went to the Isle of Wight. But I've definitely been missing some of my cardio sessions. They're the ones that I find it harder to get in, because you know, I have to walk the dog every day anyway. I find gym sessions really easy to stick to, but my cardio sessions, like we'd taken those down to, you know, minimum of 3, optimum of 4 every week. They've definitely been missing over the last couple of weeks. There's definitely been more food. There's been a little bit of alcohol when, for 111 days up until my photo shoot, there was no alcohol. And there has definitely been a lot less sleep, partly down to just how social it's been and having later nights, partly because you just don't sleep when you're camping, and also partly to do with the fact that it has been scorchio this last week, and I don't think anyone is feeling like they're sleeping very well unless you are lucky enough to have aircon in your house, in which case please can I move in. Where has this left me feeling? So I definitely feel super tired. I definitely need to be prioritizing sleep for the next couple of weeks, where I can, getting early nights, you know, try and be in bed by 9 o'clock, but really 10 p.m. at the latest. So in bed by 9, lights off by 9:30 after I've had a little read. Sleep is my number one priority. And, you know, when I talk about all of this, I want you to know that I should have said this before I started talking about sleep, really. You know, I kind of self-assessed all of this yesterday when I did my own check-in with my coach, which, you know, I said, June has been a challenge, but a really positive challenge. I don't want anyone to think I'm being ungrateful for how amazing June has been. It's been really, really lovely, and I'm really, really lucky. And that's why I've titled this Rich Life, because I do think this has been the most social, fun, love and joy filled June that I've had in a really, really long time. So I'm super grateful for that. But with that comes the trade-off of I am tired. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you might be able to see she's got some Teddy tired eyes, guys. She's got some Teddy tired eyes. So that is why sleep is my number one priority. Because when I don't get enough sleep, the wheels fall off of everything. Okay, one of the things that happened over the weekend where I was in the Isle of Wight was I just wasn't getting enough sleep. It was hot, I was tired, and it got to the Sunday and I phoned Tom. I phoned home crying, saying, I don't think I can do another day. I don't think I can do another day at night, because I was just so tired. A mixture of you don't sleep well when you're on a campsite and everyone's coming back to their tents at all sorts of times. It's hot. And also we did so many steps. One of the days, I think we did 40,000 steps. I'm actually just looking at my step data now. My average steps across June were 12,500. That's quite a lot, isn't it? June, yeah, 12,500. And May was 12,000. April was high. But anyway, yeah, the wheels fall off when I don't get enough sleep. So my biggest priority going into July is getting enough sleep and making sure I protect that where possible. Now, of course, there's going to be times and situations where that's not possible. I'm at an event all day this Thursday. I will probably be home late. That's just one of those things. That's the trade-off. But where possible, I am making sure that I get sleep in. Next priority for me is getting back to adhering to my nutrition. Now, I'm not in a calorie deficit at the moment. I am eating at maintenance, but there has definitely been some slippage. It's not been any kind of effort moment. It's not been any kind of self-sabotage. But, 5 days camping, there's only so much you can do about being, I hate using the term, but I'm going to use it, on plan, because for dinners, most of, all of the dinners, we were at the mercy of what they sell at the food vans. And whilst I tried to go for the highest protein options, you don't know what they're cooked in. You don't really have much control over that. You can't weigh it. You can't, whether or not it's sold with a side of vegetables is kind of out of your control. If that food van doesn't have vegetables on it, like I had jerk chicken one day and with a side of coleslaw. I can't control what's put on to that coleslaw. It's either have the coleslaw or have no vegetables. So yeah, whilst I wouldn't say I've been bad, I don't use the terms bad or good, there's definitely been a lot less in my control. There's definitely been a lot more indulgences. The day festival I went to on Saturday, I had a brownie, and then Tom arrived back at our picnic blanket with an ice cream for me, so I had both. There's been a bit more alcohol, like I said before, not loads and loads, but a bit more alcohol, which, for 111 days, I hadn't drunk anything. And that, all of that combined with the tiredness, that's going to take its toll. So at the moment, I am feeling super duper tired, which leads back to point number 1 about protecting my sleep. Number 3 is definitely about bringing my cardio back in. I don't have a massive problem with sticking to my workout days. I really don't. I'm really well into that routine. It's so set in my weeks, in my days now, that I think for the whole of this year so far, I've missed 1 workout or maybe 2 workouts, and that was because I was in the Isle of Wight for the whole of this year so far. So workouts I'm not worried about, but my cardio and my steps I need to keep an eye on, mainly because in this heat, I don't know what it is right now. I could ask who talks on the, her that begins with an A and ends in Lexa. I could ask her. But according to my phone, it's 31 degrees at the moment. So I can't walk Henry in this weather. It's just far too hot for him. And I'll be really honest with you, last week, combined with the tiredness, I was letting the fact that it was really hot and I couldn't take the dog be my reason that I didn't always hit my steps, or I didn't always go out for a walk. And so I went out for a walk at lunchtime today. I took my hat, I took a nice cold drink, I stayed in the shade, I did a 20-minute walk, and that means I only have to do about another 20 minutes or so a bit later on. If that, by the time I've walked around the house and done my bits and pieces, it will be fine. But adding in, making sure I'm getting those steps, making sure I'm getting in my cardio as well, because that is definitely something that I struggled with in June. Just time, energy-wise, I just really struggled with it. So for me, it will be trying to get 3 20-minute cardio sessions in, as a minimum, and that'll either be on my bike or doing something on the treadmill, and then where I can, getting a Sunday run in and that's going to be, you know, it should be fine for the rest of the week actually, or the Sunday this week, because I don't think it's meant to be too hot. But yesterday, if I'd wanted to run, I would have had to get up about 6 o'clock, I think. So bringing back that cardio, why is that important? Because adding in that cardio just means I can keep my calories those little bits higher. Like I've said before, we don't run to lose weight, but getting my steps and getting those extra bits of cardio will just keep my energy expenditure high, which means I can keep my food a little bit higher, which means I won't get as hungry, and that's really important. And then my last piece, my last little thing that I'm going to focus on is really making sure that I take my me time. And this is, you know, like I said, I have had pretty much I've had a busy weekend every single weekend of June. I've got plans in this weekend because I've got a birthday on Sunday. We've got our friends over this Saturday for a barbecue, so I don't get any kind of down and chill time until the 12th of July, right? So for me, keeping in some daily chill, some daily downtime, and by the way, that doesn't mean scrolling on my phone, that doesn't mean, you know, watching Netflix. It means, for me, it means journaling. It means like 10 minutes of meditation. It means doing some of my crafting, maybe whilst the TV's on in the background. Really taking that time that is just down, quiet, wind down time where I can just have a little bit of mental space. And let me tell you why this is so important when things are so busy, because I know a lot of my clients feel super busy at the moment. Like, I have a lot of teachers that are clients. I know this can be a really kind of drag it out till the end kind of term for you. I know a lot of my clients who have got primary school kids. It feels like there's a lot going on at primary schools. I mean, there's a lot going on at all the schools. Charlie had something called E-Week last week, which is Enrichment Week, where 4 days out of the 5 he was on trips, and it was packed lunches and getting him to school at a certain time, picking him up at a certain time. Like, things are nuts. Maybe, you know, you're busy at work because it's that time where it's the lead up to the summer and just getting things done and trying to get projects finished off so that you can have time to switch off and have your summer holidays. Things just feel a bit nuts. And I think also having those longer days, especially when it's so hot and you don't sleep, I feel like we're all just so much more tired at the moment as well because of that. And so it really does make things feel even more nuts. I don't know about you, but I seem to just move slower at this time of year. And so having this downtime, having this me time, and really making sure that that is really focused and intentional is so important, because it helps me to manage my emotions. And as a perimenopausal woman, when you are super busy, when you are focusing on yourself as well as work, as well as the kids, having that time to emotionally regulate yourself is so important. I know that I am more likely to do emotional eating when I haven't managed to take a bit of me time. I know that I am more likely to have effort moments. I'm more likely to miss my walks or my cardio. I'm more likely to get super emotional, to feel like mood swings coming on when I haven't taken that 10 minutes a day. And actually for me, I try to do more than 10 minutes a day of me time. And for me, it goes like this. I'd start with 10 minutes in the morning on the car mat, which I actually haven't done today because this morning I had to get out with the dogs really early because it's so hot. But I start with 10 minutes of meditation with the car map in the morning, and then I do some journaling, and then I try as well to do about 5-10 minutes of something on the car map to do with sleep before I go to bed. And that was something I did my morning, I did my journaling, but I missed out the nighttime meditation last week because I wasn't getting to bed on time, and I really noticed it. So I really need to make sure that I put all of this like me time and downtime and wind down time back into my plan for the next coming weeks to make sure that I can stick to everything else. So they're the things I'm focusing on. There's nothing life-changing there. These aren't things that I don't talk to you about all of the time. But the message I want you to take away from this is, yes, I have had a rich life, June. It's been amazing. I've loved it. Looking back at it, yes, it's been full on. It's been social. I feel like I might need to just lie in a darkened room with no one talking to me for a little while. But that doesn't mean that just because I've had a month like this, that I have ruined all of the progress that it took me the first 4.5 months of the year to achieve. When I look at what I've done scales wise, and I don't hold the scales in the super highest of regard, but I am sitting about 1.5 kilograms above where I was when I did my shoot. So that's really not bad in the 7 weeks since I've had my shoot. Yes, I feel a bit more tired. Yes, it's been more social. Yes, I've definitely had more indulgences. But you know what? I know I haven't ruined my progress. What I feel though is I feel it in myself that I am not at my best. And that's nothing to do with how I look. I know I am finding that I'm waking up in the morning to the alarm. Very rarely am I waking up before the alarm at the moment. I'm struggling to go to sleep because it's so hot, but I am waking up with the alarm or to the alarm. I am finding that it is taking me a good hour to wake myself up. Like I could quite easily go back to bed even after being up for 20-30 minutes. And that's really unlike me. I am such a morning person. So I'm definitely feeling, the more social, the more indulgent parts of June in my energy, in how awake I feel. I'm definitely feeling more fatigue and more lethargic. And that's what's most important to me, is that I want to go on holiday and really enjoy my holiday and enjoy resting and relaxing, not thinking, oh my gosh, I'm about to spend 3 weeks making myself even worse than I felt before I came here. So yes, okay, the scales are up a bit. My measurements are up a little bit too, but I've had a really amazing June. And now I know I've got, I think it's 5.5 weeks to just knuckle down, tick the boxes, and know that my rich life June was incredible. It hasn't ruined my progress, but it's time to just tidy things up a little bit. And I thought I would share that with you because I want you to know it does not have to be super complicated. Notice I didn't say anything about balancing my hormones. I didn't say anything about, resetting my cortisol levels. I didn't say anything complicated, just keeping it to the really boring basics. Even though I'm a perimenopausal mum, I don't need to complicate it. And if you want to get into summer, go through summer feeling your best, working towards feeling your best, even if you are on holiday, going on holiday, that is where the Last Diet Club Global, my monthly membership, is exactly what you need. I'm here to give you the accountability, the guidance, the direction that you need in order to make this summer your best summer, but also your healthiest summer. And healthy could mean that you really, really enjoy it without building it up. It could mean that you go on holiday without completely overindulging. Or you go on holiday and you go, you know what, I've worked hard for this holiday. I'm going to eat what I want. I'm going to drink what I want. I'm going to do what I want. Whatever it is, the Last Diet Club Global is designed for the perimenopausal woman who does not want to be tied to the scales. The perimenopausal woman who wants to make this time of her life her absolute best and knows there is more to life than just restrictive diets and miserable existences. So check the link in the show notes. I would love for you to come and join. I hope that you've enjoyed hearing about my rich life June and how I'm approaching July. I'm going to be having a call with my clients this evening to see how they've got on in June and also setting their intentions for July as well. Can't wait for that. Have an awesome week. And if you enjoyed this, please give it some love, give it a review, give it some stars, and give it a share on social media. Check the link in the show notes for the Last Diet Club Global information, and I will speak to you soon.